We always joke with you guys about how this is a mom and pop operation here on New World Old Soul, and never has that maybe been more abundantly obvious than today, because we have producer Micah here in the studio with us. He just went night-night.
He's sleeping on the job.
Fortunately, you want to explain why it is that he is in here with us rather than back in the house with the kids?
Yeah, so the kids went to their sports activities, and Eli came out this morning and he was like, I'm sick. I was like, no. So he sleeps in a room with Kaimani. Kaimani's been sleeping all day. He's like, I'm not sick. And every time I look over at him, he's like passed out. I'm like, man, it's going to be another one bites the dust all week long. He's probably already been exposed to it, but I am crossing my fingers and praying that this little guy does not get sick. So I don't have anyone that can watch him. So he's in here with us trying to stay healthy.
We're going to see how this goes. Like I said, he is currently sleeping. No promises that for the next 60 or so minutes that will remain the case.
Yeah.
How are you doing with your germophobia with all this going on?
I mean, I spent like a good portion of the day doing like alcohol wipes and things like that.
Crazy.
Disinfecting every surface in their bathroom. And I don't know. I still try to, like, it's hard because when the kids were little, I was just mom. So when the kids were sick, it was like, what do you need? What do you need? Like I had like little mini meals and I would thin slice fruit and everything. So I'm still trying to be very present for Eli because, you know, he's kind of used to that. You get very spoiled by mom if you're feeling under the weather at home.
If Melissa's your mom, for sure.
Yeah. So he's, you know, I had to make his soup and his special drinks and
you
all
were
of
freaking
that.
out this morning, though, saying, it's the worst possible time. We have an incredibly busy week ahead of us here, which seems to be the case every single week.
This is different, though.
But we're taking this show on the road next week. So for hopefully the next couple of episodes, we have some guest episodes. We are going to be on the road. Like I mentioned, we are going to be interviewing a former U.S. presidential candidate.
Somebody that I've been wanting to get on. He was literally like when we started this podcast 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I made a short list of 10 people maybe that I wanted as a guest, and he was one of them.
Believe it or not, he is entrusting us with having a conversation. Also, on top of that, we are also interviewing a celebrity.
Yes.
Somebody you guys might know and recognize.
I think they will.
Who is also a relative of another past celebrity that we've had here on the podcast. So very fun. Excited. We are trying to prepare. We are always incredibly nervous for these interviews.
Well, there's so many things at play because when people fly in, there's flights that can be late, which we saw with Lila Rose's interview. And like, so you never know if they're going to happen until their butt is seated in the seat across from you. You don't know that interview is going to go. Like it can always be pulled out from under you with 15 minutes to spare. So, and then for him to come out a week before and say like, I'm sick, I'm like, no. So we have to stay healthy in order to be fair to our guests too. So
yeah, so we're praying that all goes well. The kids are on the mend. Nobody else gets sick. And in the meantime, you guys get to enjoy the presence of Mr. Micah.
Yeah, producer Micah. Stay healthy, Micah.
All that out of the way. What are we discussing this week, Mama?
Well, so, I mean, I keep seeing the whole, the Tylenol thing, right? So everyone saw the press conference.
Could probably use some in our house right now.
No, we don't need that. So I saw the press conference where RFK came out and Trump came out and Trump was like, don't take Tylenol. And RFK was like, well, there's these studies. So basically what we're going to do is continue to study whether or not Tylenol used by pregnant women causes or an increased risk in autism.
They're saying that there's a link between ADHD, autism, and potential Tylenol consumption during pregnancy.
Yep. So apparently there's a link. They're saying like you're 3 times more likely, you're 4 times more likely. And this all came out of Harvard. So a lot of people are upset because they're saying, well, this, you know, Trump is not a medical professional. RFK is not a medical professional.
They are not.
But they're only doing the press conference. They're not the ones that found the link. That was a Harvard study. They pulled 46 different studies done over 20 years. 20, some of them found a link. I think there were like 11 that didn't, some that were inconclusive. And then, but the 26 were considered the more high quality studies.
So the fallout from all of this has been absolutely insane.
Yes.
Lots of crazy things happening online as a result. Don't know why this is so controversial. As a mother of 5 who was recently pregnant, what are your thoughts?
So I did not take any Tylenol with any of my pregnancies because, I did actually get the flu in November with Micah. And I was taking my temperature because I knew that if I got a temperature, it was dangerous. I think I was just out of the first trimester. Yeah, I was in the second trimester. In the first trimester, primarily, if you get a fever, it can be dangerous. It can lead to all kinds of issues, including miscarriage.
Yeah, developmental issues.
Yeah, yes. Neurological issues and things like that. Same like using a hot tub or using a sauna. You don't want your internal body temperature to rise while the baby is developing.
Yep.
So it's such a hard thing because everything is so politicized now. Can we please stop politicizing everything? Like if Trump and RFK say Tylenol might have a link to autism, that doesn't mean go take a bunch of Tylenol to
in defiance
stick it to them.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing. And then also if they say that it's might have this link and you're on the right or you happen to really like RFK, that doesn't mean if you spike 104 fever and you're pregnant to just tough it out like was kind of suggested, because that could also lead to issues.
Who suggested that?
Trump was like, don't take it. Like if you're pregnant, don't take it. And I think that is something that you need to discuss with your doctor. And it's not that doctors are always correct, but we're not medical professionals. He's not a medical professional. Medical professionals don't always get it right, which we've seen over the decades. They were saying it was fine to smoke. It was fine to drink. Yeah. There was that morning sickness pill that caused the baby's arms and legs not to develop, which was a terrible thing. So there was all kinds of stuff that has come out and then they retract and say, oh, never mind, don't do this. So Tylenol has been considered the healthy thing. You could ask any doctor last year or a couple of years ago, and every single OBGYN is going to say Tylenol is the best option.
We're not anti-Tylenol whatsoever.
No, I'm not.
I've taken it. Tylenol literally saved me and made me feel so much better when I had COVID going back a few years now. Felt miserable for like a week and a half.
When you were taking ibuprofen.
Took the Tylenol, acetaminophen, which is a very difficult word to pronounce, as we saw our president struggling with it. Funny. I'm not trying to jab the guy, but it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Effective immediately, the FDA will be notifying physicians that the use of let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen. Is that okay?
Got some from our neighbor, and it was the only thing that made me feel better. So we are not anti-Tylenol whatsoever. Is there a scenario that you can envision that would ever lead you to even consider taking it? I know you're very crunchy when it comes to your pregnancies.
Very, very crunchy when it comes to my pregnancies, and very crunchy just in general. I don't take medicine for anything.
You do have that tough it out mentality.
Yeah.
You were just giving me a hard time the other day for taking a couple Advil because I had a really bad headache.
I was like, you shouldn't take that because it's bad for your liver and kidneys. And the reason that I said that is because that's an ibuprofen. And then
acetaminophen.
Yeah. And then Nevaeh's having some issues that she's going to bring up on her vlog where she needs to literally like heal her liver and kidneys now from damage. Yeah. And it literally said do not take ibuprofen products. I guess now Tylenol is going to be something she needs to consider too. So then when I saw you taking it, I was like, that's bad for your liver and kidneys.
Yeah, foreign substance comes with a drawback, right? Like something that you're not, it's going to potentially cause you harm. And for a baby who was developing in utero, why would you take the risk, I guess is my thing.
For one this size. So I bought infant Motrin and infant Tylenol when he was born because I thought, we have 4 other kids. They do bring sicknesses back, as we are experiencing this week. If he were to spike a fever, I wanted to have something on hand because fevers over like 102 when they're under 6 months can be dangerous. So it's like if it's under, like I'm a big person that takes fever or takes temperature every hour. So I really monitor it.
Oh, he's stirring.
Oh no. Producer Micah, stay sleeping. Like their little arms and legs get hot. And if they go over 102 under 6 months, I think it's over like 100 when they're like really little. But over 102 under 6 months is cause for concern, and you do want to bring that fever down. So I wanted to have, sorry, I'm not talking into my mic. I wanted to have something on hand. Oh, baby, I know. Producer Mike was like, where are we? What are we doing? We're working.
Why so bright? Why so bright?
So I just wanted to have it on hand. But then I started reading the warnings. The ibuprofen's like, I think it said 2 and over on the box. And then the Tylenol said under 2, ask a doctor. So I'm like, wait a minute, what are you supposed to give under 2? I'm assuming the Tylenol, but their fever would have to be in the danger range for me to even consider it. Like if they're just a little uncomfortable, fever is a good thing. And that's what I don't think people realize. People get these mild fevers.
Yeah, there's purpose behind it.
And it's your own body's immune system causing the fever. It's not the sickness causing the fever. All he's gonna
jump.
All illnesses have a point where heat kills them. And your body's immune system will usually heat to the point that it will kill whatever foreign substance or foreign bacteria is in your body. So if you spike 102 fever, that must be the temperature that's going to kill that particular illness. So if you just can ride that fever out, as long as it's not in the danger zone, you're not having seizures or anything like that. I mean, if you're 104 fever, you should probably bring that fever down.
That's Melissa Souza, MD. Everyone.
No, not at all.
Melissa Souza, MD.
Your body works for you, but your body can also go into that danger zone. It's like all common sense. It's all do your research, try to
weigh the risk.
But so what we're seeing across TikTok and Instagram is these women that just truly have the derangement syndrome. And I don't know if that's curable. I don't know that Tylenol can cure that.
What are we talking about here, Mama?
They are taking Tylenol in defiance.
Yeah.
Big and pregnant. Like, I'm taking this. So there's like this trend right now. And it's so disturbing.
Let's play a couple of these videos. I don't know whether or not so many of you out there who are currently watching have seen these, but it's I don't even know what to make of it. I hate social media, and this is a prime example of why. Because videos like this get clicks, they get attention, and the motivations for taking such action are it's risky. Like why would you risk it when it comes to your child? I don't get it.
28 weeks pregnant.
28
you know
weeks.
What I'm going to take?
Oh, I don't know.
Some Tylenol, acetaminophen. It's going to work like a charm.
Like, she does not
And my
appear to
baby
have
won't
a
have autism.
fever or any body aches. She looks very comfortable. Like, what are you doing? Just like you too. And why does she have 3 bottles of Tylenol? 3 different kinds.
Okay, great. Haha. So funny. Why are we doing this?
I don't know, like, why you would even take the risk. So Tylenol is not, it's not political. I mean, literally Tylenol.
No, it wasn't political.
Well, it shouldn't be political. So Tylenol lands, I mean, it does come with risks. And literally on the box, when I read it, it said could cause liver and kidney failure if you give this to your child on the infant Tylenol. Like, it's on the warning label. And they even tweeted out in 2019, when somebody asked if it was safe for pregnancy, Tylenol themselves tweeted out as an answer, we do not recommend taking any of our products during pregnancy. Like, this is not new.
I just don't understand the risky behavior when it comes to your kids. We are, we're helicopter parents. We've referenced this before. We try to minimize and mitigate risks at all costs when it comes to our children. I don't understand it. I mean, statistically, chances are you're going to be okay.
Well, maybe.
But the first girl is like, and my child's not going to have ADHD. You hope?
Yeah. How do you know? And do you take Tylenol a lot? Like,
you don't. And there are a number of these videos. We have another video compilation of people doing this that I don't even want to show. It's not worth
giving them the platform,
giving them the attention. It's just that's all this is.
Yeah.
Like everything on the internet.
Tylenol can be dangerous. It literally is, like, I think it lands 56,000 people in the emergency room every year. It leads to 2,600 hospitalizations and almost 500 deaths every single year from liver and kidney failure from overdosing on Tylenol. And I think it was Nick Freitas, who we recently had on the podcast, that told,
guy.
Awesome guy. He told a story that he was talking. Oops, sorry. That's fun, huh? He was talking to a nurse. I think it was like an emergency room nurse. And he was like, what is like one of your craziest stories? And she told him about a 15-year-old girl that she didn't necessarily want to unalive herself, but she was trying to just get attention from her parents. She was mad at them or something.
Right.
She was trying to it was a cry for help, basically. She took a bunch of Tylenol, probably because she thought this is a way to get attention, but it's not going to actually do anything. Well, very unfortunately for her, at 15 years old, it did cause significant liver and kidney issues. And she was told by her doctors that, your attempt is successful and over the next couple of days, you are going to die. And she did.
I told you, what do you do with that? Like, how do you live with that reality at age 15?
Well, and for her poor parents, knowing this is what's going to happen, there's nothing
That
we
you're
can do to save
slowly
your
going
daughter.
to deteriorate over the next few days until you pass away.
It's no joke.
You were just trying to get some attention from your parents.
So if you're just taking 1 or 2 or a half dose, if you have a fever and you just need to bring it down, or you're giving your child's fever spikes really, really high in the middle of the night and you can't get them to their doctor, and you just need to bring it down because it goes over 102 or 101, depending on their age or whatever it is. That's very different than abusing it on purpose.
That story is so incredibly
It's so sad.
tragic.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
it is. But for these women to make this political and take action just solely to grab attention and in an act of defiance is incredibly baffling.
Yeah, come on, moms, please
take the
don't do
risk?
this. This is not a TikTok trend. There was a Benadryl trend a couple years back that actually ended up,
How many people have passed away from stupid TikTok trends?
oh my gosh,
Over the
remember
past
the
few years.
Tide Pod thing? When
Yeah.
they were eating the soap and somebody got
So dumb.
died doing that. And then I know the Benadryl one claimed several people, and
What
there's
else has there been? People jumping over cars.
yeah, someone got ran over by their own car doing that dancing by their car thing. Remember that?
Yeah.
Where you would get out and dance while your car rolled. Somebody got
Got a ghost ride the whip,
Yeah,
mama.
ghost ride,
the whip.
we've seen so many people fall from cliffs and doing that where you would walk out and you take your picture or selfie really high,
Yeah.
up on skyscrapers. There's just been so many things. And now you clearly want to be a mother because you're still carrying your child. And why are you? It's just so dumb. But then on the flip side of things, also don't politicize it on the other side saying, this is so dangerous.
Draw a hard
I'm
line.
never going to take this no matter what, because if you do happen to be in your first trimester or your third trimester where a high fever can cause low birth weight, or it can cause your membranes to break, or early labor before your baby can survive. There's, you got to just use common sense.
Be reasonable. The
Be
TDS
reasonable.
is alive and well.
And stop politicizing everything,
Stop
please.
politicizing everything. To go back a few years, this is a short compilation of news media outlets that were putting out this information. I think you referenced that. Was it a tweet from Tylenol just advising of this warning, saying, hey, maybe reconsider taking our product while pregnant. Hi, buddy. You're so smiley.
Yeah.
We'll play this real quick. Just nobody made anything of
No.
Tylenol.
And I think the
when all of this news
first
was
news
coming
story
out.
was 2014.
Yeah, so this goes back over 10 years.
Yeah, this is not new. This is not an RFK thing. So, let's stop raging.
It's supposed to be the safe option.
Yeah, 2014.
Acetaminophen, most widely known as Tylenol, is routinely
11
prescribed
years
by
ago.
doctors for pregnant women in pain. But a new large study out of Denmark calls this long-standing practice into question. In the study, women using the common pain reliever during
Billy.
pregnancy were more likely to have children who went on to have ADHD.
And this is CNN.
Research
so
is
they're
raising
taken as
concerns
being more
tonight that
credible. This is
acetaminophen
credible
could be
information.
linked to autism and ADHD.
Nobody cares.
Acetaminophen is the most
2019.
commonly used medication for pain and fever during pregnancy. Well, now we're learning that women who take it when pregnant may be exposing their baby to an increased risk of behavioral problems and other disorders, such as Tourette's syndrome.
A new study from Johns Hopkins found taking acetaminophen late in pregnancy may be associated with a higher risk of having a child with autism or ADHD.
A new study from Johns Hopkins
And there's so many in
finds taking
2019.
acetaminophen late in pregnancy
again, this
is
is not new.
associated with a higher risk
just
of
a new
having a
study.
child with autism or ADHD.
Okay, we get the point.
Yeah.
But how far do we take this? Like I said, you're taking an unnecessary risk with your child. If Trump said, hey, don't dangle your newborn off of a 10-story balcony, would we then see compilations of parents like, screw you, Trump. Haha, look, I got my child by the arm 100 feet off the ground.
Probably.
Like, what? How stupid?
I mean, I feel like with some of these people, you could do some serious reverse psychology on them. So, what do we want them to do? We could be like, no matter what, do not vote for this person. And they're going to be like, we're going to vote for him. This is me voting for him. Like how far are you going to take this?
If Trump said to vote for Gavin Newsom. There you go.
Yeah.
Undefeated in the elections.
Yeah.
Bam.
They would be like, we're never voting for him. This is me never voting for him. Like, it's so dumb. Stop it. Start thinking for yourself. Now, I know we aren't the only ones that struggle at lunchtime. Our days get very busy, and most of us feel like we are being pulled in a million directions and not motivated to actually prepare something fresh to eat, which is when we reach for convenience over health. That was definitely us until we found Garden Cup.
Yeah, with Garden Cup, fresh lunches got way easier. Zero chopping, zero cooking, zero weekly meal prep or scrambling when you're hungry. Just fresh, ready-to-eat salads, bowls, soups, and even kid-friendly sides shipped directly to us that are ready to eat in about 30 seconds.
We just stocked our fridge with these, and it's so awesome to know that we have a variety of delicious lunches filled with fresh greens, hearty proteins, and tons of flavor ready for the week.
Yeah, it's really so nice having all these gorgeous ready-to-eat lunches, especially when life gets crazy. Also, every week is a new adventure because the variety is so insane, so it never gets boring, and we can switch things up basically whenever we want.
So if you're like us and you struggle to find healthy, convenient, yet still delicious lunch options to enjoy at home, on the go, at work, or really just any day that you might otherwise skip lunch or reach for something that you shouldn't be eating, definitely give Garden Cup a try for yourself. Just click the link down in our description below or go to gardencup.com/discount/NWOS for $20 off your first 2 orders.
So there's a new docu-film by Angel called RFK Legacy that we want to encourage all of you to watch. It is produced by Oliver Stone, and it tells the story of Robert F. Kennedy, a man who stood for truth and justice and who ultimately gave everything for it, and how his son RFK Jr. has carried that torch forward.
Yeah, just 62 days after the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., a violent act took RFK's life as well. Unfortunately, moments like this aren't new. History repeats itself, giant voices silenced, families left grieving, and a movement left asking, where do we go from here?
So if you're feeling the weight of what's happened recently, like unfortunately so many of us are, we want to encourage you to watch RFK Legacy. Let it remind you that we honor those that we lose by refusing to stay silent. Let's be like RFK Jr. and his father and have the determination and resolve to help make the world a better place. You can stream it today at Angel, talk about it with your family and your friends, and let it inspire you to keep shining a light in dark places. Because when history echoes, we can answer back with courage.
To watch RFK Legacy plus many more inspiring and exciting titles like Homestead, Sound of Freedom, Green and Gold, and Last Rodeo, click the link below or go to angel.com/NWOS to become a premium Angel Guild member today. But I actually saw a doctor break it down really well, and he was saying that it's not that Tylenol is the cause, it's just a contributor. And so if there's a certain gene that a lot of autistic kids have, and then they've noticed that like if they have heavy metals in their system, like certain preservatives from certain things that can have preservatives in them, that they have an increased risk because of this gene. So it's like if it's a boy, because I mean, yes, autism rates are on the rise and they used to be much, much lower, like when we were kids.
Yeah.
And then
Something's doing
even
it.
a decade ago, they were much lower. So yes, something's doing it. And I think part of it is diagnoses. And so we've now added Asperger's to the spectrum. It didn't used to be. So that greatly increased the numbers. So we have to look at that. Like we need to be practical and fair when we look at the autism rates. But we are seeing in just autism, not including Asperger's, we are seeing a 3-fold or a 4-fold increase.
How about also question the motivations behind these overdiagnoses?
Right. I think a lot of people are self-diagnosing. Well, I don't think a lot of people are self-diagnosing. A lot of adults are self-diagnosing.
Proudly.
So you've got that.
Self-declaration.
Yeah. Remember
Victimhood.
a couple of years ago when it was really cool to have Tourette's for some reason?
Yeah.
Remember that? Like everyone was like, I have Tourette's.
Yeah, it's an excuse.
Now none of them have it.
Say whatever you want.
Yeah. So yeah, there's just all kinds of weird stuff that social media has brought out. Now I feel like it's super trendy to be autistic. Like there are truly autistic people and children out there. Like you don't need to claim to have it if you don't. And I do feel like we are over-diagnosing it in some kids that are just hyper-focused on things. I mean, before it was like, oh, this person's a savant at certain things, or they're just hyper-focused. And now they're like, no, it's Asperger's.
Yeah.
It's like
Elon Musk.
Maybe they're just odd.
All the tech bros are being...
Maybe they're just super smart.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know, there's different people with different minds.
Speaking of with medical things, since it has come up over on Good Simple Living, we have kind of a different audience here over on this channel, and since he's awake, do you want to address the thing that's growing on his head that we keep getting questions about?
Oh, yeah. So this is called I'll see if I can say it right.
Hemangioma.
No, hemangioma.
I think I'm saying it correctly.
I think I am. Hemangioma.
Can that be our vocabulary word of the day?
Okay. If we actually have any medical professionals, how do you say it?
Hemangioma.
And I say hemangioma.
Give it to us phonetically, if you would.
Yeah. Well, you can just say Team Jeremy or Team Melissa. I could be saying it wrong, but I thought it was the strawberry hemangioma. So anyway, essentially what I was told is that when he was born, he had a cluster of blood vessels that did not seal.
It wasn't there when he was born.
No. And then it started as the tiniest little red
dots.
pinprick.
Yeah.
And then there were like 4 little dots
Yeah.
and then 6 little dots. And apparently that's the end of blood vessels.
He doesn't want you talking about it.
I know. That continue to leak. So it's almost like a blood blister in that it's blood vessels that aren't sealed that leak into the skin. And that's why it's puffy and bright red. And it's completely superficial, even though it looks serious. Now, if you were to bump it or nick it, it's going to bleed profusely. Yeah. But so I have some bleed stop and things like that just in case. Luckily, we've never done that. His is no longer growing, and it's actually starting to get soft, and it's starting to flatten.
It's got like wrinkles and crinkles on around the perimeter of it, so we think it's going away. It's supposed to go away after like a year or so.
Yeah, some kids are totally gone in a year. Other kids take up to 5 years. My niece had a really large one on her abdomen. So around the belly button, around the eyes and nasal cavity, and on the scalp are the most common place you see them.
So fortunately, we're not dealing with that.
Yeah, because they can obstruct, their nose and their breathing or their ability to open and shut their eye or see. So luckily his is on his scalp. It's totally harmless and it will disappear completely. Those blood vessels, I'm pretty sure, have sealed at this point, and now it's just going to take several months to several years for the blood to dissipate and then for it to flatten and disappear.
So there you go. Hemangioma.
Hemangioma.
All right, next story. We are recording this here today on a Sunday evening yet again. And then today we had yet another tragic mass shooting event at a Mormon temple in Michigan.
And all the details of this are still coming out. I mean, by the time this comes out on Wednesday, there will probably be a lot more known.
For sure.
It was a 40-year-old veteran.
We will all collectively move on.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other sad thing that we're seeing is when these things happened a decade ago or 2 decades ago, they were all over the news because they were rare and we treated them as severe as they are. Yeah. And just because we have so much information and there's so many stories now, we move on so quickly. Something is only news for 24 hours. So literally no one might be talking about this on Wednesday unless you live in that community. But I mean, it's a 40-year-old Iraq veteran. We don't know anything about political leanings. I'm sure that it's going to be politicized as well as Tylenol.
You know what? I don't know what to make of these things anymore. It seems like it's become so commonplace, which is terrifying. The fact that it was an attack on we came in here last week and we're talking about school safety, and the same thing would apply to churches. You're vulnerable. So many churches now do have teams of security, whether they are very outward in their presence and making it very abundantly obvious, or they are tucked away amongst the congregation. But it's terrifying, and it, again, I've said this repeatedly now, going back for the past few weeks. It just feels like there's an uprising of evil, and when the attack happens on a location of faith, it just feels like it's an attack on all that is good. Christianity in particular.
Well, and it's also an attack on the feeling of security. Like, church used to be a place where you would go with your family and you would pray and you would gather and you felt safe and you felt like you were with your church family.
Your people, yep.
I always felt so safe and secure when I was at church, growing up as a kid. I never once thought about an active shooter coming into the congregation. That never even crossed my mind. Yeah. I never thought about it till I was married to you and you were a police officer. And I was really trying to find our family a church at that time. And you were just so uncomfortable in that environment. Every time we would go, you would be looking for the exits. You would be telling me, like, we went in one and you told me, I don't want you coming here without me, and you would always carry.
I don't like gatherings. And that's kind of, yeah, always been the case since I became a police officer at 23. And it's a really sad thing to acknowledge aloud. It's made us social, not outcasts, but just very reclusive. Look at how we live. I'm sorry, buddy. It's so tough. And, I hate operating from the standpoint of like being fearful, but there's just no way of really mitigating those risks without keeping as many of those factors within your control as possible. And it's just sad that you cannot go out and worship without having to be hyper vigilant in your surroundings and environmentally. It's yet another awful, tragic day here in our country.
Well, it's like a movie theater. I think it's just something to be aware of. And unfortunately, we have to be aware everywhere we go, especially in an indoor area. When you go, know where the exits are. It's just like you were always looking for the exits everywhere we were. And I thought you were crazy in a church. I'm going to nurse him.
You need a nurse? All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll join you guys here back in a second. All right, you plugged in there?
Yeah.
All plugged in?
All plugged in.
We're going to tie this into another discussion, something that you brought to my attention about this HBO documentary that came out titled what?
It's called The Devil is Busy, and it is the #1 documentary in America right now. It's by HBO Max. Now, HBO, we were talking about HBO when we were talking about The Gains a couple weeks ago, which people got, that's how I felt about it. I was like, she's supposed to be a guest, and then she goes and does this.
This is the level of professionalism you can come to expect here as a New World Old Soul.
We said this is a family podcast filmed at the back of our barn. I'm now a milk cow, and this is what life looks like. And this is what life looks like for us right now. I don't know. We're doing our best. So he's like, right now he's literally doing this. So, it's his new trick.
Little tug of war.
It's so fun. For 3 years now, we've been telling you about how we trust Elite Me to keep our personal information offline, and they also happen to be a sponsor of today's episode. So if you are online at all, you are at risk. For example, all those random phishing phone calls and emails we all get? Well, they are a sign that your personal information is going around and being sold online, which puts you at a much higher risk for scammers and even worse, identity theft. When we first signed up for Delete Me, they found hundreds of listings with our private data. But thankfully, their privacy experts were able to have them removed on our behalf, which saved us so much time and frustration. And the cool thing about Delete Me is they are always continually scanning the web to make sure that our data doesn't pop up again. Now, these data brokers literally scour government sites, public information sites, and even your own social media pages in search of your name, your birthday, your past address, and even your family members. They then package it all up and they create a profile on you, and then they sell it to other data brokers, companies that want to advertise to you, and sadly, sometimes even scammers. Now, you can't always control whether or not you're the target of one of these data brokers, but you can definitely make it a lot more difficult with the help of Delete Me. Just click the link down below or go to joindeleteme.com/GSL and use our code GSL to save 20% off.
We've talked before about how overwhelming big life decisions can be, moving, having kids, caring for loved ones, but few things are as confusing or as important as choosing the right Medicare plan.
And during annual enrollment, it's chaos, mailers, robocalls, conflicting advice from agents who don't always have your best interests at heart.
Here's what most people don't realize. Medicare plans can change every year and many disappear entirely. So even if you like your current plan, you have to look at what's coming in 2026, or you could lose access to doctors, prescriptions, or even benefits that you rely upon.
And that's why we recommend Chapter. They are the only Medicare advisors who search every plan nationwide to find the one that's right for you. On average, they save people $1,100 a year and help you avoid costly mistakes and penalties.
Yeah, it's free. It takes under 20 minutes. And if you're already on the best plan, they'll let you know. Call Chapter today at 484-812-4045. Peace of mind is just one call away.
Anyway, so The Gains had their show with HBO where they featured the same-sex couple and they did the surrogacy when in vitro, and we broke all that down if you're interested in that. We did that a few weeks back. Then after we did that episode, I found out that that was actually their second HBO show. The other one wasn't renewed. They had one about roller derby. And so it was different. It was like called Roller Wars or something like that.
Riveting.
Yeah, she really likes roller skating I'm not sure why, but she's like really good at roller skating. I also don't know why, but yeah, I'm impressed either way. So she had this whole show where it was roller derby, and then they were featuring teams that, I mean, you can imagine with roller derby. But then one of the judges was a cross-dressing homosexual man. He wore dresses, like very flamboyant makeup, the whole bit. And so a lot of people are like, this was unnecessary. You didn't need to like get a cross-dressing man to be your judge.
Enough already.
Yeah, like is it to appease HBO, or is this just what you're super into as far as the gains go? So, I mean, I had some weird feelings about the whole HBO thing, but then they came out with the #1 documentary currently, or #1 search documentary in America called The Devil's Been Busy, or The Devil is Busy. And it features a clinic. I'm so afraid to even say the word because every time we do, we get banned. So a clinic that ends the life of the preborn. We'll say that. So it features this clinic, and it walks you through the day in the life or the experience of the people that work inside the clinic.
The staff, yeah.
And they're talking about combating the Christian people outside with their signs, and they show them as being very like hateful and violent and judgeful.
They're categorizing them as being evil.
Yeah. So the devil is the Christian protesters outside. And this woman is saying, when I look these women in the eyes, I tell them they're safe now. And she's praying at her desk to, I don't know who. She thinks God. She honestly thinks she's praying to God to protect these women, to do this righteous act of unaliving the preborn.
So my question to you was, protecting them from what exactly? What are you protecting them from? Who are you protecting them from?
She's protecting their rights is what she's saying. But it's like, but you're marching these babies to their death while praying to the author of life to give you strength to be able to end the life that he has created, the life that he planned before the foundations of the world. You honestly think that he's answering your prayers?
So incredibly nonsensical. Can we play a portion of this trailer? Because when you told me, I mean, just when you gave me this title, my question to you was like, who are they referring to as being
I think
the
you thought it
devil?
was like opposite,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, I did.
Well,
Because that's what would make sense to me.
We tell the guests they're going to be protesters at the bottom of the hill. Don't stop, drive past them. Before I send them in, I look in their eyes. I say to them, you're safe now.
You're safe now.
the line
Amazed by
outside
the
just
work
breaks
that we
my
do here.
heart.
Now you're safe.
Taking care of patients from all
babies
over
are.
the U.S.
We're going to send you through this heinous procedure that's going to result in the termination of your baby. But don't worry about it because you're safe here.
Yeah.
Makes total sense.
You from Tennessee, but because of the legal landscape, we are moving backwards.
I never thought I would have more rights 25 years ago than my daughter does now.
What are we talking about?
Right? It's like mind blowing. And it's like, I could see HBO Max again. Like if you're the Gaines, like I literally plead with you to open your Bible and search your heart, because these are the people that you are partnering with.
It's freaking infuriating, man. I don't like having knowledge of these types of projects because they're completely agenda driven.
Yeah.
What is good?
I wanted to make sure that we didn't have HBO because I was going to cancel it and catch it on, like light it on fire immediately if we did. Luckily, we've never paid for HBO.
I told you on the whole trans thing. Like I just saw this other clip on Facebook where it was a trans female, so male now trans.
Did
female.
you notice the one making the phone calls was
No,
a
I
male?
didn't get that far. I'm not gonna watch this crap. It's freaking garbage. It was a trans female who was chastising another panel member about their being critical about the trans agenda, and she referenced how she was offended as a Christian. He was offended as a self-proclaimed Christian while pushing this trans agenda upon others, something that requires the mutilation of young people and the affirmation of just gender confusion.
Yeah,
and it was so off-putting. They're trying to hijack Christianity for their own purposes.
100%. So we saw this last week in our own comment section. I had somebody say, like, how can you possibly proclaim to be a Christian when you are this and this and this? And they listed a bunch of things. But then one of the things was pro-life. And I was like,
what?
Yeah. How can you profess to be a Christian while being pro-life? And I was so confused by that. And then I saw this documentary.
Is off the freaking charts.
Yeah. And this is somebody that was like, well, be well, God bless. And I'm like,
I'm sorry, what?
What church do you go to and what Bible are you reading and what doctrine are you reading? And this is the problem with bad doctrine. This is the problem with soft New Age churches. So when you have people like Chip Gaines calling Christians that are literally Bible believing, Bible reading, just straight, not interpreting, this is what I don't like about Christian books per se. Like, I have no major problem with Christian books or Christian theme books, but when you don't read the Bible with Christian books, you only read Christian self-help books, I feel like you can get very confused because these are the opinions and the interpretations of people instead of scripture.
They're attempting to manipulate.
And it waters it down so often to sound really good. It appeals. And I see that a lot where even Christian influencers want to appeal to a broader audience. But truth is so important because documentaries like this come out where you have this woman praying for strength to end the life of the most innocent. And I mean, it's Isaiah 5:20. It's to a T. It's goodness good will be called evil, evil will be called good, darkness will be called for light, and light will be called for darkness. This is the darkness being called light, and the light that's outside trying to show these women another way is being called darkness. Bitter will be called sweet, and sweet will be called bitter.
And it's effective.
Yeah.
There are people who fall for it.
So effective, and we're seeing it more and more and more. Being all accepting and being like, there is no right and wrong. Everything is gray. Everything is interpretation. Your truth, my truth. There is only God's truth.
So this is what I'm saying, tying everything back into this shooting that we had today at the Mormon Temple. It just feels like Christianity is under attack, and all that is good is under attack, and it feels like it is. It's growing exponentially.
Yeah, the security to gather is under attack. They're making us feel uncomfortable in our places of worship. And when I say they, I just mean forces of evil. And they doesn't always even mean people. It is not flesh and blood that we are battling. It is literally a battle of good and evil. And do they use people to do that? Yes. Do they use policy and politics to do that? Yes. So people get upset when we talk politics here on the podcast. And I tell people it's not politics that we like. It's not. And if we criticize somebody, it's because we don't worship men. We don't worship politicians. We hold everybody accountable. And just because somebody might get our vote doesn't mean that we blindly follow them everywhere they go.
Absolutely not.
And if we question them or we hold them accountable or we expect them to live up to the promises that they make, it's because it's not about the politics. It's not about the people or the leaders. It's about God. It's about the things that they say. And politics matter because policy matters. Politicians write policy.
100% does. I heard a guy talking about matters, like theological matters, and why it is that things have become so political. Well, politics is trending in that direction. Politics is no longer, hey, right versus left on a given topic. It has literally become a matter of good versus evil. What is it that you align with? What is it that you stand up for? What is it that you are outspoken about?
Yeah. And are you allowed to be
You shouldn't shy away from these issues. And if you don't want to hear it, okay, so be it. But as for me and mine, we will not.
Yeah. And the reason that policy matters so much is because, when you're seeing pills that you can get through the mail that are being used on women unknowingly, we're seeing a lot of stories of men that don't want to have children and that are spiking drinks of people. Like, these pills are very dangerous and they're landing and they're not safe. Like, imagine, do we have any other medication that you can get through the mail without a doctor visit and use unattended as a minor without your parents knowing that lands as many people in the hospitals that the abortion pill lands in the hospital? I mean, it lands so many girls in the ER. Is there any other medication that you can just get so willy-nilly that would land that many people? Like, imagine if it was an asthma medicine.
Yeah.
They would never let you get it.
No.
But this you can. Why?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So that's why policy matters, because people get hurt, and things like free speech matter on both sides, because if we shut down the conversation, we start to shut down our freedoms. If we're just allowing politicians on either side to tell us what to do, then we lose the ability to say, no, this is wrong. And I think it's only going to be we the people that do that, because so often politicians on both sides, they can be corrupted, they can be bought and paid for by
They are people
big
of a
donor
fallen
money.
nature, as we all are. Yeah.
Yep.
I love listening to you or watching you talk and discuss all these serious things while being smacked in the face repeatedly by our son here.
He's like, shush you. Just be quiet, Mama, and read me a book.
Hi, Bubba. You want to shut this one down a little bit early?
Sure.
I know there's a lot that has been going on.
Yeah, there's just been a lot. And I mean, I don't know. I think there's going to continue to be a lot. I think it's going to be a heavy year. But again, we need to go and focus on our families. We need to make sure that we do know what's going on. It matters to know what's going on. It's so easy to be like, I just want to shut it all off and not care. But again, policy matters. Politics matter. Who's leading our country matters. And it matters that we are very grounded in our faith, because I think we're going to be very challenged over the next decade, over the next few years, over the next decade. But we need to really make sure that we're instilling in our children firm foundations, because they are going to be so challenged and so confused and so just told that they are wrong. I mean, look at the battling that's going on even within parties.
By design.
Yeah,
I think our kids are so incredibly susceptible, and given everything that's going on right now, they're definitely being targeted.
Yes. Everybody's fighting for the hearts and the minds of the teenagers right now, and the little kids.
Yep.
The schools, they want control of the education system. And it's just so important that our kids are grounded in truth.
It's the responsibility of all of us to make sure that we do our part.
Right? We have to teach you what is right so that you can't get confused.
Little drill.
Yeah.
How about some bubbles?
Yeah, and I think that's what scares me the most, is you see so many people from really good families that just get.
Yeah, you can't be soft about these things.
Right.
You cannot be apathetic and passive.
Yep.
Cannot happen. Should not happen.
Right.
Unfortunately, it does.
Well, let's get him some rest. Let's make sure that we stay healthy. We have very exciting interviews coming up.
Very exciting. Very nerve-wracking. If you guys made it this far into the episode, thank you so much for being here and being patient with us. Yeah, that's right, buddy.
I know.
Mom and pop operation, like we always
Producer
say.
Micah, you guys called for him. This is what it's like to have Producer Micah in here. It's going to be rare, very rare that he joins us. But
Only his second appearance
I know.
on the pod.
What do you think? Did you have a good time? What do you think? Is there anything you want to say to everyone?
No, that's a no. Bye, buddy. All right. You guys take care. We will see you next week here on New World, Old Soul. Don't be afraid to chime in down in the comment section. Like, subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. Until then, you guys take care. God bless. We'll see you then.
Goodbye.
Bye.